To start off your dancer's stage makeup, you are just going to apply a coat of foundation over their entire face. Little girls do not need to be wearing foundation. The only steps that little girls need to follow are for lip stain, which is at the very end of the video, mascara, and blush, which is here in just a minute. But for the older girls, you do need to be wearing foundation. We suggest a foundation slightly darker than your skin tone to bring some color onto your face on stage, because the stage lighting will make you look fairly pale. So then after you apply your foundation, you're just going to take a beauty blender, a sponge, a brush, whatever your preferred method is, and blend your foundation out. Make sure that you're blending it into the hairline and down the neck so there aren't any places where your color suddenly cuts off. And then here we went in with a brush just to make sure it was completely even. You can again use whatever method you prefer, and there is where you would apply your translucent powder if you decide to wear it, which will just give you a more matte look on stage and keep you from looking super sweaty. Here we're going in with some concealer. We put the concealer under the eyes, along the bridge of the nose, right above the cupid's bow, and below the middle of the bottom lip, as well as on the forehead, as you can see. So we just took a brush and blended it out. You can probably see us putting on a little bit of the foundation onto the eyelid, or the concealer onto the eyelid. You can just do this to provide a primer for your eyeshadow, which you'll add in a moment. We generally blend first with a brush and then with a beauty blender, but it is up to you. And if you don't have any concealer, you can just use a lighter stage of foundation. What this does is really just brightens up those areas of your face and adds back some dimension that the stage lighting and your foundation will take away. So here we went in with some contour. What contour does is just again add some more dimension to your face that is gone after you put on foundation. So you're going to want to put it in lines underneath your cheekbones, your jaw, and along your hairline, as well as right down the sides of your nose. And then you're just going to blend this. Make sure there's no harsh lines. If you don't own contour, that is completely okay. Just use a slightly darker eyeshadow color and it'll do the same effect. You just need a slightly brown pigmented powder to use, or there are also liquids that liquid contours that you can use. And then you're just again gonna blend it, make sure it all stays nice and even. Here we went in with our blush. You're going to want to apply a pink shade of blush, fairly pigmented, up your dancer's cheeks. Make sure it's just even on both sides is the biggest thing. Make sure it's not darker on one side. Just evenly apply it up their cheeks and on the apples of their cheeks. And we added a little bit to the top of the nose because this just brings in some more color, but you don't have to. Just make sure that your cheeks do have blush, and little girls do need to be wearing blush. Our next step is for eyeshadow. So we're just going to start off by using a neutral color to cover the entire eyelid. Here we used a kind of pinkish color. So really you're only going to need about 4 colors for your eyeshadow. One for the base natural color, and then you're going to go on top of that and essentially split your eye into 3 sections. So you want about each section to be a third. So the inner third of your eye, the middle third of your eye, and the outer third. You're going to, after you put on your neutral base coat, you're going to put a little bit of a light, almost skin toned color on the inner third of your eye. And you're just going to blend this, make sure it's nice and flat. Then you're going to go to the outer third of your eye, which doesn't need to be any super straight lines or anything, just basically a natural smoky eye. The best way to do it is to put your dark brown on the outer third of the eye first, blend it, make sure it's not super dark, and then you're going to want to fill in that middle third with the color that's in between the color you put in the inner eye and the outer eye. And then you're just going to blend these all together. Make sure they're nice and smooth and even on both sides. You're going to just want very natural colors. So not even like a black, more of just like a dark, almost hair colored brown on the edge of your eye, and then a tan color on the inside of your eye, and a skin color on the inside of your eye, and just a color in between those two. Then here we went in, just touching it up a little bit with our Q-tip, and we didn't picture it here, but Ella did put on some mascara. She put on her own. So make sure you are wearing mascara. Little girls should be wearing mascara as well. We also just touched up the bottom of the eye with a little bit of concealer again, just to make sure that it was nice and lifted still, that we didn't lose any of that by any of the touch-ups we made. And then we're just going to go in next and do her eyebrows. So for eyebrows, you can fill them in with eyebrow pencil or eyebrow colors. If you want to fill them in and you don't have those, you can use you can just use a hair colored eyeshadow, but you really just need to comb them out. A great trick is to put a little bit of hairspray on your comb and then comb out your eyebrows. Here we've moved on to doing some highlighter. Highlighter is really just a glittery skin color. So if you don't have highlighter, don't freak out. You probably have a glittery skin color eyeshadow that you can use. Again, you are going to want to put this highlighter on your cheekbones as well as on the bridge of your nose, a little bit on the forehead, a little bit right above the cupid's bow, and right below the middle of the lip, basically the same places that you put your concealer. And you can also put a touch of highlighter on the inside of her eyes. You can see she's doing right now. This just, again, brightens your face, gives it a little bit of shine on stage. It really brings out the dancer's cheekbones. So you can use whatever brush you want. You can use a fan brush is really what's supposed to be used here, but you can use any brush that's not super compacted, tight. Even a loose eyeshadow brush will work. So just blend it out. Make sure it's even, again, on all sides of her face. You want to look at the face from straight on and make sure there's no major unevenness on the sides. We just sprayed on some setter and then are just dabbing that in, which isn't necessary, but it will help to keep the dancer's makeup from smearing. Here we went in with some eyeliner. For your eyeliner, you just want it to go from the inner corner of your eye along the bottom and just do an itty bitty wing. You don't need a big cat eye wing or anything like that. For your wing, it is completely okay to use tape if you want. You don't want to have to retry a million times because eyeliner is fairly difficult. Just try to keep it nice and simple. Next, we're going in with our lip stain. You do have to be wearing the Maybelline lip stain in the color Pioneer Red. The best way to do this is put on some chapstick first because it is a lip stain and the lip stain is fairly drying, but because it is lip stain, you need to be very, very careful putting it on. It doesn't come off very easily and you need to be having this color. So you're just going to put it along the bottom lip. Puckering your lips isn't the best option for this. You're just going to go along the bottom lip, take it nice and slow. You can lip line first if you choose to, and if you do get a little bit off, you'll see us in a minute. We got a little bit on her skin. Immediately grab a Q-tip and just wipe it up. you can put some concealer on top of it later or foundation on top of it if it's still showing, but just be very, very careful applying this step. Again, puckering your lips isn't the best option here because it is a bright color, and if it smears a little bit too far, the game's basically over. So here you can see us touching it up. Just be very, very careful with this super bright color, top lips and bottom lips, and then you are going to want to make sure that it's all the way to the inside of the lips, because when we smile on stage, you can see a little bit more of our lips, and you don't want a major cut off. Just like the foundation, you want to just have it go all the way in. You don't want there to be any major cutoffs where it's like bright red and then just pink. So you're going to go in the inner corner of the lips, down the edge, and just make sure your entire lip is covered, and when you smile, it's not any bright red on your teeth or there's not any on the inside of your lip. So just make sure everything looks nice and beautiful when you smile. And here is our finished model with her full stage makeup. Thank you so much for watching.